Thank you guys all for joining us this evening. My name is Amber. I am the event coordinator here at Nature's Fair. And this evening we are very excited to welcome a speaker who truly bridges science and everyday wellness. Orsha Magyar is a neuroscientist and certified holistic nutritionist who believes in going beyond quick fixes and addressing the body as a whole. As part of tonight's webinar, Orsha will share easy, time-tested tips on cleansing, longevity, and how to use the right foods and herbal helpers to support your body through the winter season. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Orsha.
Thank you. Thank you for such a beautiful intro, and what an honor to host, for many of you, probably the first webinar of the brand new year, and what a great topic on cleansing. So thank you all for being here with us tonight. All righty. So you are here to learn about how cleansing can be a wonderful tool to kickstart some of your health and wellness goals in 2026. And here's a little overview of my intention that you will walk away from at the end of our time together tonight. I've got about a 50-minute lecture prepared for you. And then, like Amber said, plenty of time at the end for some really specific questions that I'm happy to answer. But here's kind of the itinerary that I will be taking you through this evening. We're going to start with discovering how health span, which you may have heard that word before, is kind of becoming the new lifespan. We're going to discuss what people are saying about how aging affects them, what the word age means to them. You know, age is much more than just a number, so we'll explore that a little bit. And then we're going to move really into what you're here to learn about tonight, and that is how detoxification can support both health span and lifespan or longevity. And we're going to talk about my favorite cleanse kit on the Canadian market, which is Wild Rose. I love Dr. Terry Willard and his products. And then we're going to discuss which detox kit may be the best for you. We're going to get really sciencey. I'm a neuroscientist by trade, so I hope you're here for some science. We'll make it fun. I'll do my best. But we're going to talk about why hepatic or liver cell detox is so key for overall health, how to keep motivated on both the dietary aspect. That's a huge part of the cleanse, and that I believe in doing all year long, but we'll get to that, as well as how to stay motivated on the 12-day kit, or if you're doing the liver kit, the 15-day kit, how to come off it correctly, and how to keep caring for your body well after finishing the cleanse to keep that cool cleansing feeling going for the rest of your year. So this is me, and like Amber said, I come at cleansing and health in general from quite a unique perspective because I was trained classically. I come from University of British Columbia. I took my training there, both undergrad and graduate studies in the field of neuroscience, first being in the Department of Psychology and then jumping over into psychiatry. So I know a lot about the brain, much less about the other systems of the body, and I can share with you what a humbling experience truly it has been for me to leave academics behind and come over into the dark side where I've been really embraced. So it's been a beautiful journey and experience coming into holistic healthcare. But when I was in science for over 10, almost 11 years in academics, I was not taught anything about detoxification. And my anatomy and physiology classes really glossed over it and said, okay, here's the liver, here's what it does. It's involved in detoxification, but it can do it on its own. That's about all I learned. Like I would say less than 10 minutes in over 11 years of schooling on the liver and detoxification and its value. Then I went back to school post-grad to take my certification in holistic nutrition, and I was literally blown away, and it was one of the most humbling moments in my education and then professionally to learn how our modern lives are overwhelming our liver and other portals of elimination's ability to correctly detoxify. So absolutely, our bodies need support in detoxifying. It's not as simple anymore as what I learned to say, yes, the liver can detox. It doesn't need any help. And now working with clients with their neurological health, with their psychological health, I absolutely believe they need help, both their bodies and their brain's detoxification system as well, which is the glymphatic system. They need support. And we employ Dr. Terry's detox kits a couple times a year for many of my clients. And then I do the cleansing diet that I'll introduce you to tonight throughout the year. So, health span really is the new lifespan, and more people, when they're polled and asked, are saying that improving their health is their major goal for the new year. And we can start doing that at any time of year, and we don't need to be hardcore. We can take so many little steps. I'll teach you some tonight that you can do at any time, any place to lend great improvement to your overall health. And of course, we all want to live a beautiful, long life. Yes, but we also want and need and deserve that life, however long it is, to be as healthy as possible. And that's health span. You know, the saying quality over quantity, it goes for so much. Quality of friendships over quantity, quality of food over quantity. And that goes for this as well. Quality of life equal to, or for many, more important than quantity. We're living longer than ever before. Due to modern techniques, modern medicine, and technological advances. That's great, but many of us are not nearly living as healthfully. We're barely surviving. So a big goal of my talk tonight is to help you learn how you can actually thrive and really target that concept of health span. What does age mean today? I love that the older we're living, as lifespan increases, the concept of older just keeps getting older and older. We never say that we're old. So traditional descriptors, when I was reading kind of older literature, they describe old, young, middle-aged in very distinct ways and they assign specific ages to them. And I no longer believe that is true anymore. The young terminology is getting older. 40% of people polled in a study last year believe that 25 to 34 is very young. And I love that. Old is getting a lot older. Only 60% of people polled last year even believe that 65 to 74-year-olds are considered old. So again, I love that. And that's partly due to older individuals now are focusing on their health span. They're still working, whether it's paid or volunteering after the kind of standard cutoff for retirement age. They're traveling, they're living well when they focus on health span. And the middle age is expanding. Many people view middle age as spanning over 50 years. So really interesting statistics there that I found to prepare for tonight's talk on. Really, it's hard to just say young, middle-aged, old anymore. And it's about living as well, I think, as we possibly can. So this concept of detoxification diet, like I said, I work with clients and we build in these concepts into their protocols and into their programs. And another way of saying detoxification or detox diet is cleansing diet. And I look back to, even though I'm a scientist, I look at traditional ways that people ate and who were healthy. Our ancestors actually used cleansing or detox type diet, and they cleansed at least 2 times a year. And so the best time, kind of translating that traditional anecdotal wisdom and knowledge into modern day, when I work with clients, I advise them to think about doing a cleanse with the shifts in the seasons. So you can consider, many people already know that if they want to try a cleanse, do one in spring. That's a great idea. But another good time of year could be fall. And actually, over the last few years, I've been recommending clients to cleanse after the festivities and after the winter holidays. So January, and so this is such a great time to be doing this webinar this evening. This could be a really great time if you're interested or thinking about it to just take the jump and do a cleanse. I prefer a detox type diet over fasting. And don't get me wrong, I am up to speed on the literature on fasting for health, fasting for weight loss, fasting for religious and cultural reasons. I love all of that. But for many people, a fast can be quite overloading to the fragile eliminatory processes and detox pathways. So for most people, I think a gentle detoxification diet coupled to a cleanse kit anywhere from 1 to 4 times a year seems to be the kind of magical way to do things. When we eliminate too many toxins too quickly, we can run into problems as well. And we'll talk about the detox pathways a little later tonight, but just know that less is more. And Dr. Terry, when I talk with him, says this to me a lot. Less is more. You don't want to lose weight too quickly. Studies suggest you can get sick and you're going to gain it back double in the next 2 years, right? So I know a lot of people are thinking about detox for quick weight loss. You will lose weight, but you don't want to do it quickly or you will gain it back double and you're not going to be very happy at the end of it. And I've seen this. I've been working with clients for over 15 years, so I'm talking from a lot of experience here. You want to do this slowly. Slow elimination of toxins, slow weight loss, all that stuff. And a cleansing diet will provide the nourishment your whole body and your brain need throughout the entire year. Again, when you fast, you're cutting everything off. So things like fiber, including important prebiotic fibers for the microbiome, are no longer going to be given to the body. So these kinds of ingredients that I'll teach you about tonight and nutrients found in these foods actually are important for detoxification. So it's not quite as simple as just doing a full-on fast. Here is the kit insert that I've grabbed a screenshot of for you from Wild Rose's Boxed Cleanse, the instructions, and then I included the grocery list for you, so you're welcome to take a screenshot of that. But here are a few foods that are part of the cleansing diet. So again, I just want to point out that a time of cleansing should never be a time of deprivation because it is not fasting. A lot of people get really nervous to take part in a cleanse because they're like, oh my God, I'm not going to eat. I'm going to be so hungry. I actually disagree. I think that there's a lot that you can eat and you should be eating. And this grocery list includes all of the ingredients with the key evidence-based nutrients inside them that are going to make the cleanse, the kit, the tinctures, and the herbs do their job even better. So the kit and the diet need to go hand in hand. So some of my favorite things on Dr. Terry's grocery list include raw, unpasteurized sauerkraut and fermented vegetables. Some whole grains, but not all. For example, one of my favorite whole grains as part of a detox type diet is buckwheat. There is such beautiful science telling us that buckwheat is really great for longevity, for health span. And in the liver kit, there's an ingredient in there actually that is derived from buckwheat. So really special, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Beans, lentils, nuts, seeds, oatmeal, coconut, seaweeds, and medicinal mushrooms are all part of the grocery list that you can absolutely have during the cleanse. And I recommend keeping that going. If you thrive on them and you're feeling good with these foods, make them part of your everyday diet or choose from the list and make sure that you're taking one at a meal or even one a day if you want to start slow on your diet every day, not just on the 12 days of the kit. Here's some specifics now, some more nitty gritty of the detox meal kit insert. So Dr. Terry Willard recommends that less than 20% of your diet while you're doing the kit comes from these acidifying or acid forming foods like beans, beef, coffee. You are allowed up to 2 cups a day. Because I work in brain and mental health, I would encourage you to please enjoy those 2 cups before 12 o'clock noon. But again, it's not a time of deprivation, which I love, and it's going to help you comply and stay on the cleanse because nothing is really taken away from you, especially like coffee. I myself am pretty addicted to it, so I do have a cup a day before 12 o'clock noon. You want to focus 80% or more of the diet on these alkalizing foods and neutral foods. So all fish, but no shellfish, please. Certain whole grains, buckwheats on there, as well as millet, brown rice, certain fruits, certain veg, and then some of these neutral foods as well, herbal teas, olive oil, garlic chives, pumpkin squash, really beautiful foods, especially I find at this time of year too. In winter, they just really fit and feel really good to enjoy. So then there's this concept that I love and I teach clients about called Hara Hachibu I hope I didn't mispronounce that. If there's anyone tuning in who speaks Japanese, correct me afterwards if I didn't pronounce that properly. But it's a concept really made popular worldwide through the media as we started to notice that Japanese people living specifically on the island of Okinawa have the most number of individuals that live well into their hundreds. They're called centenarians. They have 5 times the average number of centenarians than the rest of the world combined. So scientists started going, what are these people doing different? And the number one thing that they were doing different was this concept of hara hachibu, which means they're not trained in science. Now it's people like myself studying these concepts, but they just intuitively were stopping to eat when they were 75 to 80% full. So as a culture, they practiced what we call in science and medicine systematic caloric reduction. It doesn't sound as beautiful as haru hachibu, but it means the same thing. They're systematically under eating on purpose. And it's something that I do my best. Okay, like during the holidays, everything goes out the window. But now that it's January, I try my best to get back into this concept. And there's easy things you can do to encourage hara hachibu. You can slow down when you're eating. For example, after you've had one portion, put your cutlery down. Give your brain a few minutes to catch up to your tummy. And most often than not, it'll tell you, hey, you're full. So that helps feed into this concept. Become more mindful when you're eating, actually focus on eating. That's where a lot of the recommendations about not eating while you're watching TV come from, not eating while you're driving, not eating while you're running around. Because when you're not focusing on the food, your brain may not understand that you've eaten. So it's not going to trigger those hormones and those neurotransmitters that we'll talk about later tonight that tell you to stop eating. So slow down, become more mindful of your food. And another tip that I love that I use for myself and teach clients about is just use smaller dishes. So for example, for dinner, instead of your big dinner plate, why don't you use a dessert plate? See what happens. It's mind over body medicine and it really, really works. And these concepts all feed into this hara hachibu. So time to detox. Let's see what we can learn from what to do here. So again, this was one of the things that was so humbling to me coming off this over 10-year education in sciences where I kept being told by my professors and in my classes that detox is like, you don't need to do anything to support it. Your body can do it. And then coming into the world of holistic nutrition, I learned, well, actually detoxing has never been more important than in modern society. So I put together a kind of list for you guys of a few things that in our modern society have been shown in clinical research to increase things like cortisol, reduce liver health, reduce health and speed of our detoxification pathways, and also slow down our other portals of elimination. Okay, so I synthesized this research and I came up with this list for you. These include things like chronic stress, too much screen time, an inactive sedentary lifestyle, laptop posture. I'm doing it right now. So even nobody's perfect. So choose one or two things off my list, take a screenshot of it and focus on them in January. So for me, my posture is that laptop posture. It's also related to poor liver health and increased cortisol. So I just sat up straighter. Your go, go, go lifestyle puts us into a state of chronic fight or flight that makes detox more important. Pain, being inflamed, caffeine, more than 2 cups a day, alcohol, more than 1 to 2 drinks a week, processed refined carbs, trans fatty acids or hydrogenated fats is another word for them, too much sugar and too much salt. This is my list I work on with clients to systematically reduce and eliminate while also bringing in detox diet and detox cleanses to help the process along. Now, here are targeted channels of elimination. The liver, of course, is the primary detoxification organ that I know you're all well aware of. Detox is one of its 500 plus jobs that we don't have time to get into tonight. So we just focus on the detox portion. But then equally important to the liver, because you'll see in my diagram, once the liver completes its detoxification, it must filter the waste and send it off to other organs that become the portals of elimination, namely kidneys through urine, namely gallbladder, and then intestines through bile, and then stool, These are all very important to help detoxify as well. If the liver is not correctly detoxified, we become what we call pathological detoxifiers. If the kidneys are not properly detoxifying, for example, high stress or a number of things on this list, what they can do is confuse your kidneys. So instead of filtering waste into your urine to pee it out and eliminate it, it actually filters important nutrients because a stressed kidney is confused. And instead of retaining vitamins and minerals, high stress individuals living a chronic flight or flight lifestyle are shown in their urine to accidentally have urinated out important vitamins and minerals instead of just waste products. And same with bile and gallbladder and intestinal health. If those are stressed or living our modern day lifestyles, we're more prone to issues like diarrhea, constipation that are also really, really negative, and have poor health outcomes as well. So all of these are very important. And sure, a kidney knows to make urine. That's what I learned in academics. Then in holistic nutrition, I learned, well, a stressed kidney is making mistakes. So we really need to incorporate principles of both science, which I'm a big fan of, and I come from that world, but also holistic and traditional healing modalities. Here are some of the benefits of cleansing that have been observed in clinical settings around the world. Health span, longevity, better digestion, better energy, a more balanced mood. This piques my interest, working with mood and working with mental health. And I've heard so many clients say, I don't know what it was in this kit. I just feel happier. Less pain, less inflammation, better immune health, nicer skin, and reduced brain fog. Countless individuals have said to me, I didn't even know I was living with brain fog until it went away. And isn't it so interesting how the body and brain just adapt, and what isn't normal often becomes normal, right? So things like brain fog, you might not even know you're living with it until it lifts. Now, I do want to be really clear and really safe, and coming at this from kind of medical background, detox isn't for everyone. Unless you're willing to do it under medical supervision. So I don't believe that people, young individuals, kids should be doing a detox kit. Everyone will benefit from a detox type diet and all those beautiful nutrient rich detoxification boosting whole foods, but certain people should not be doing the kit, including kids, teens, older adults, people who are very malnourished, people who struggle with active eating disorders, people who are pregnant or breastfeeding, not because I don't believe that it can be helpful, but because the herbs in the tinctures and in the tablets have not been tested during in utero embryonic baby development. So if it's not being tested, in my eyes, I just don't recommend it. I don't know if it's safe. And I think that if you have diabetes, you could benefit from these kits, but you need to do it with the supervision of your doctor or naturopathic doctor, because especially if you're taking insulin or metformin, it's going to affect the dosing and may affect your health. So if you are diabetic, do this only under strict clinical supervision, please. Now, also, there's a lot to know about what to expect when you are cleansing, okay? Because as your body first is stirring up toxins in the cells and then packaging them and eliminating them, you're going to get some symptoms, and that's normal. We call up to 1 week of these symptoms a cleansing crisis, and that is normal. These include temporary signs and symptoms of discomfort, including headache or muscle ache, like low grade, nothing so dramatic. Low grade, but still you may feel a little bit icky, low energy or lethargy, some mucus or phlegm production and discharge, a coated tongue, low grade flu-like symptoms, so nausea, runny nose, some weird cravings. Again, as you follow the detox diet in the insert, you're going to notice first some cravings, and then the cravings are going to start to go away. So ideally, you come out of this cleanse and your cravings for sugar or salt have diminished. Frequent urination, that's normal. What will help move you through this cleansing crisis of 7 days quicker is more water. Up to 3 liters if you're willing, but a minimum of 2. That's non-negotiable for me. If clients want to do this cleanse, I make sure they need to up their water. They need to do an Epsom salt bath at least at least 5 to 6 times during the 12 or 15-day course of the kits, some dry skin brushing to help with elimination of toxins through their skin, and more sleep. If this feels too intense, ease back. There's no issue because you can self-titrate. It's 2 tabs 2 times a day, and then 2 mils twice a day of the tinctures in the kit. You can control that. You can ease back to half or even a quarter and build back up to the effective dose that Dr. Terry Willard and Health Canada say is what you should be taking on the kit. But there's no reason why you need to start at that dose. You can work up to that if it's too intense for you. And a lot of shifts will happen on days 3, 7, 11 of the 12-day kit. And then some people like to do 2 kits back to back, and that's okay. If you do want to do a third kit, I don't recommend it back to back. I do recommend a 2-week break there, but you can do 2 detox kits back to back. You'll notice another shift in your health on day 21. I think that cleansing, when done properly, can be really, really nice for physical health, mental health, emotional health, and it can tap into spirituality as well, which is really nice. And I think that, in my conversations with Dr. Terry, he always says it's about getting rid of the old and welcoming in the fresh and the new. So again, I love the concept of doing it at a time like this, January, new year, new you, and then again in springtime with the seasonal shift. And it's a beautiful chance to reset, become more intentional in your health goals as we shift into these healthier habits and patterns. And I think that it's a really nice opportunity also to connect more deeply with yourself, but also with the environment around you. So why choose Wild Rose? I like working with Wild Rose kits in particular because they are Canada's #1 selling detox kit. So a lot of people love these kits. It's safe, it's tested, it's tried, it's true. I love Dr. Terry Willard. I love that he's a scientist who also went holistic. So he's a big inspiration for me personally. And I love that they're Canadian made and owned. And they bring in a firm foundation of biochemistry. That's like my first love, science, but then blended with knowledge from traditional botany and herbology. Clinically researched, traditionally researched, and clinically used for 51 years now almost. 100% plant-based. So I love that it's vegan, so it's really inclusive and friendly for anyone who wants to take it. I love that Wild Rose pays attention to using ecologically harvested herbs. You may not have heard that concept before, and a lot of the competitors in the cleansing kit space don't put value into ecologically harvested herbs. This term refers to the fact that at Wild Rose, all the plants are harvested according to really specific cultivation practices specifically intended for that plant. So the goal is to preserve many, many future generations of that plant, as well as being intentional to keep the plant's environment around it safe as well. So it's just a really beautiful concept additionally brought into Wild Rose kits. I also like that Wild Rose uses, and we'll talk about the kits next, 4 specific products. Many of the other kits that I've looked at and considered using for myself or my clients use 2 to 3. So this one's like very, very well rounded, and it's also using doses of herbs and plants and clinically effective doses, which is important for me being trained in science. And then last but not least, Wild Rose never has soy, gluten, dairy, or GMOs. So a few things that I personally love about this brand. So which detox is right for you if you are considering one? So Wild Rose has 3 on the market. They've got their herbal, gentle, and liver support kits. And the herbal and the gentle are both 12-day kits, whereas the liver support is 15-day. If you're wondering, if you're thinking right now, like I want to do maybe 2, how should I do this? I would recommend start with either the herbal or the gentle, and then do the liver support. I wouldn't just go right into the liver support. The Herbal Detox 12-day kit is going to include herbs, both tablets and tincture, to cleanse the colon, really important to make sure that you're eliminating regularly and in a healthy way. It's going to cleanse the kidneys to make sure that the urine output is healthy, just waste, and retention of those good nutrients your body needs. It's also going to cleanse the GI tract and, of course, support liver function. This kit will help you eliminate toxins, improve metabolism. So for any of you looking for a little bit of weight loss support this year, and there's a detox booklet included. The gentle detox is the same as the herbal with one key difference. This one is for those with sensitive tummies. And I noticed as people were joining tonight's webinar, someone already said they want info on sensitive tummies. This would be the one that I would recommend for you because the laxative component is much gentler. So if you are someone who does worry about or is prone to loose stool, diarrhea, digestive upset, do the gentle detox. The rest is the same, but the laxative is much gentler. And liver support is 15 days. You need a little bit longer to really aggressively target liver health. And this one is to cleanse. This one is to protect liver cells. It's going to improve digestion as well. So here's what the herbal detox looks like, and look at all the awards. We only listed the last 2 years, but 2024, both gold in retailer choice across Canada. Stores were loving it the most in the cleanse category, and then silver for customers. And then again this year, gold for customers. So this time, so sorry, not this year, 2025, customers across Canada said that it was their favorite cleanse kit, and retailers, so stores, said it was their second choice in terms of what they were selling and what they were recommending. And here's what the herbal detox contains. It contains these 4 really strategically curated products. It contains one called Billy Herb. That one is specifically for bile production and bile quantity and quality, as well as liver detoxification support. You take 2 tabs twice a day. I recommend with breakfast and dinner for all of these. It's got a product called clearheaded. That one is specifically for the health of your kidneys and urinary tract and producing healthy elimination through the urine, as well as lymphatic support. Then there's the Laxa Herb. This is very strong. This is 2 to 4 tabs daily at bedtime. And then we have the CL liquid extract specifically. This is a tincture, 2 mils twice a day. I recommend with breakfast and dinner, specifically for the integrity and health of your urinary tract and urinary system. There's also some really interesting ingredients in here that many of the other cleanses on the market don't include. And the reason I believe they don't include them is they're very hard and very expensive to source. So things, for example, like the black radish root is very unique and very special, and you don't see it in a lot of other ones. Things like the juniper root in the liquid extract here in the bottom, again, a very unique ingredient as well. And then, sorry, back to the Billy Herb, I see the parsley root, not to be confused with basic parsley. Parsley root is a very special and very unique herb for liver health that I don't see in a lot of the other cleanses. Then we get to gentle detox. It's the same, but a little different. And I've put a box around what's different about it. And that's the fact that the Laxa Herb is very gentle. So you can take this one if you have a sensitive stomach and sensitive eliminatory system, prone to things like loose stool or even diarrhea. Now, why focus on the liver? Many people want to boost their liver health. Many people that I talk to think liver's the only thing that they need to help with detoxification. Now you're learning tonight there's so many other detoxifying organs that help us eliminate toxins, but really the liver is the star of the detoxification story because the liver is what very initially must have the job of grabbing toxins from around the body, packaging them up and getting them ready, sending them like a distribution center. The liver needs to send the packages to all the different portals of elimination. So it's got a really, really heavy, a really important job. And so I focus a lot on the liver. And Dr. Terry's built a whole kit just for the liver. He says, when in doubt, treat the liver. Those are his words. And I really, really value that advice. Emotional states can really affect the liver. And for me, as a scientist, I think about emotions sometimes in the way of neurotransmitters. I think of emotions also with hormones. So for me, when I think about the statement from Dr. Terry, emotional states affect the liver function, my brain kind of translates that. And I look at studies suggesting that high cortisol from being chronically stressed out can impair liver function. How does it do that? When you're stressed and your body and brain are full of cortisol and high on cortisol, your liver gets scared and stressed too. Your liver starts to make mistakes. Instead of metabolizing fat, it starts to store fat. You start to gain weight. You start to get fatty liver disease, even though you're otherwise totally healthy. And I've seen this in clients, and they're like, what? I just got diagnosed with fatty liver disease. And the first thing I ask them is, how's your stress? Oh, I'm a stress case. I've been in high stress for 20 years. That's why you have fatty liver disease, not because you're eating fatty foods. A stressed liver also, from being highly emotional, from being high on your own cortisol, will also make you really inflamed, will disarm your body's natural abilities to fight free radicals, will cause insulin resistance. Now you're on the blood sugar roller coaster from being very emotional, and it affects your liver. So again, my mind views things like emotions in that sort of way, and I hope that resonates with you, coming at it from a more hormonal and neuroscience, neurotransmitter perspective. But we all agree that the liver plays a key role in detoxification. Whether we're talking about emotions or neurotransmitters or hormones, they kind of overlap and all are saying the same thing. We know that the liver has to make bile. It needs to help secrete bile into the gallbladder, who then stores it and concentrates it until you eat something with fat in it that gives it the signal to release it down into the duodenum, that top part of your small intestine. And we also know that the liver has enzymes that break apart unwanted and toxic chemicals and get them ready for elimination. So in hepatic detoxification, from a scientific perspective, a lot of things must happen that the liver must be able to do. And that's why cleansing becomes important, and a cleansing diet becomes important, as well as things like stress management and reducing some of those modern day go, go, go type of lifestyles, bad posture. I'm doing it again, so I'll sit up again. But in phase one, you may have heard these phase one, phase two of liver detox. In phase one, it involves a very special enzyme in the liver called C or cytochrome P450 enzymes. And these do a lot of different things to help package and gather toxins from around the body. And it needs a lot of nutrients, including B vitamins, glutathione, and bioflavonoids. So keep that in mind when we talk about what Dr. Terry Willard's brought into the liver support kit. Phase two of liver detox is just as important. Now the toxins have been stirred up throughout the body and packaged. Now they need to get ready for elimination. And this part of liver detox also requires important nutrients like amino acids, magnesium, vitamin C, and others. So again, keep that in mind. These nutrients are all going to be built into the liver support kit. So it's very strategic, based on science, but then translating it into botany, translating it into herbalism, and using those beautiful herbs and plants. The need for antioxidants becomes very abundant when we're talking about liver support and liver detox. I included a little photo for you, or photos that I snipped together, of whole foods high naturally in glutathione. Glutathione is important for both phase one and phase two of liver detoxification pathways. So we need to have all of these foods and or the nutrients found in these foods to support liver detox pathway 1 and pathway 2. Here's what's included in this beautiful kit. I love that this also includes a cheat meal if needed. I find that compliance and adherence for myself as well as clients always becomes higher when you're allowed that little cheat meal. And I love it. And you shouldn't deprive yourself. Have a cheat meal. And what I mean by cheat meal is you don't need to follow the meal plan one day out of a week. So it's got the billy herb. It's got a milk thistle plus now product. And then probably one of my favorite products in this liver support kit, because it's so based on the science of liver detoxification support, is the C Herbal Flex Bioflavonoid Blend. So you take 1 tab twice a day here, breakfast and dinner, and it contains 500 mg of vitamin C, 250 mg of bioflavonoids from citrus fruits. It contains a compound you may not have heard about before called hesperidin. Hesperidin is a very special and unique bioflavonoid plant pigment. It's found specifically in the peel and that kind of white membrane in citrus fruits. Some of us like to eat that. It's really high in hesperidin, so I recommend eating that kind of membrane when you peel an orange or a lemon or a lime, and it contains that in it. It also contains another plant pigment, flavonoid, called rutin. Rutin is found in foods like buckwheat, making it one of my favorite whole grains. Rutin's also found in asparagus, but you'd have to eat a lot of it. It's found in green tea, you'd have to drink a lot of it, and figs and a few other foods. So I love that this kit brings in 50 mgs of rutin straight up in the blend, as well as parsley herb top. Now, sometimes people ask me, like, what should I do because I've Googled, or my naturopathic doctor or physician sometimes are recommending milk thistle. I have a liver issue. They're recommending milk thistle, but should I do milk thistle or should I do one of the kits? And so I created this slide to help you kind of make sense of it. So I would recommend the liver support kit at very different times and for different reasons than milk thistle. And if you're wondering what's a good milk thistle that I work with personally and I take and recommend for my clients, it's the milk thistle super concentrated liquid capsule by Botanica, because it's one of the only ones on the market that provides a clinically effective dose. So actually shown to regenerate liver cells, shown to detoxify the liver. But the liver support kit, I recommend anywhere from, if you just want to try it once a year, January, or 2 to 4 times a year. With the shift of the seasons, you want to also do like a fall and a spring, or at every seasonal shift, for strong, targeted liver detoxification support. The liver support kit's going to support your liver. It's going to support bile. It's going to give you a combination of both liver supportive and liver detoxifying herbs. These are different. Liver support is different than liver detox. Liver detox are those pathways 1 and 2. Liver support has to do with growing new cells, helping heal damaged cells, helping, if you have fatty liver disease, helping to naturally address that. So support and detox are very different in my world. And then also the liver support kit will bring in antioxidant support through all those beautiful plant pigments and bioflavonoids. So this is your comprehensive liver detox support on the left. On the right, if you do want some additional liver love, I do recommend Botanica's milk thistle liquid caps to follow the kit for ongoing liver support, because milk thistle at the dose found in Botanica's product will be liver cell is hepatoprotective. It'll support glutathione, it'll support digestion, and some antioxidant support. So I would recommend this one for 3 to 6 months following doing one of the kits. So again, just to summarize, which detox, if you're considering one, could be right for you. The herbal detox is designed to be a comprehensive full body cleanse and a general cleanse. The gentle is similar, but much gentler, as the name implies, because of the laxative is not nearly as strong. So it's for people with sensitive stomachs who are more prone to loose stools. And liver support is the very specific one for the liver. Now let's talk about weight loss, which I know some of you are here for. And let me be really clear with you from my perspective, being trained as a neuroscientist, becoming a registered holistic nutritionist. You probably will lose weight on this cleanse, but I certainly wouldn't ever tout this or recommend this kit as a weight loss kit. The herbal detox, and I've talked to Dr. Terry about this and his perspective on what I'm about to say tonight, and he says absolutely, he never designed his kits to be a weight loss program. It's a really nice side effect of it. Some people will lose anywhere from 2 to 15 pounds during the 12-day herbal or gentle detox. Now, if a person already has low weight or is underweight or is already at their healthy desired weight, they will not lose more. Or if they do, don't worry, it will come back after the cleanse. From my perspective, I believe that most of the weight loss occurring on these cleanse kits is due to the caloric restriction. because when you're using the meal plan with the grocery list insert that comes with each kit, you are naturally going to eat last. So you're going to kind of eat in that Japanese cultural way of systematically reducing calories. You won't even notice. You're going to be under eating, but you won't be hungry. Also, I believe that a lot of the weight loss from this kit is going to come from the reduced toxic load coming at you because you're going to be eating mostly whole foods in the cleansing diet portion. If you want to lose more weight, that's okay. The way to do it healthily and the way to do it properly while you're doing your detox is to also intermittent fast. And don't mishear me. I do not mean fast, I mean intermittent fast, which is still eating food, but in a restricted period of time. So maybe you would not start eating until 10 a.m. or 12 p.m. noon and then stop at 5 or stop at 7, but you're still eating in that IF or intermittent fasting way. And then another way to keep the weight loss going that I do for myself and for my clients is keep up with the diet portion after the cleanse, or find what foods on the diet you really liked and resonated with, and like medicinal mushrooms or seaweeds or whole grains, and keep those going for the year. From a weight loss and liver perspective, how is making your liver healthier through either the herbal detox or the gentle one, or specifically the liver support product? What, if any, research exists on how that will help you lose weight? So it turns out there's some really nice research kind of corroborating how making your liver healthier will contribute to healthy weight loss. When you improve liver health, you're going to balance your blood sugar. Now you're going to get off that blood sugar roller coaster. You're going to balance out your blood sugar and keep it in a nicer, tighter, narrower zone. That in itself is going to help reduce insulin resistance and help to lose weight. Reducing inflammation. When you reduce inflammation, studies show you're able to lose weight. Inflammatory molecules and fat cells, stored fat cells, love each other. They have like a toxic, nasty relationship. So if we can reduce inflammation, we can also help reduce weight together. Increasing metabolism, that internal furnace, that internal fire. A healthy liver has been shown in many studies to rev up that metabolic furnace. So I love that. Natural approaches to weight loss like this, I really like. I do not like deprivation. I like this kind of stuff. Evidence-based, really good holistic ways to lose and then maintain once you're at your desired weight range. And then one of my favorite ways that boosting liver health can actually support weight loss efforts is by helping to regulate your hormones, namely T3 and T4. The liver, one of the liver's 500 jobs is to recycle old hormones and help eliminate them, break down old, discarded, used up hormones, and help your body eliminate them through the different portals of elimination. Once those old used up hormones are out of the body, it sends a negative feedback loop to your various endocrine organs to make more. So when the liver is not healthy, your endocrine glands are not getting those signals to make more good hormones. When the liver is healthy, it gets rid of old ones and tells your adrenals, for example, your pancreas, and other parts of the adrenal or endocrine system to make new hormones. So T3, T4, your hunger hormones, those are directly regulated by a healthy liver. Leptin tells you to stop eating. Ghrelin makes you hungry and tells you to eat more. So again, one way that I love working with clients for weight loss is to help balance leptin and ghrelin. It's a science-based way of addressing mindful eating or intuitive eating. I remember I never understood what that meant when I was taking my registered holistic nutrition training. And then I applied kind of what I knew and the world that I come from to that. And to me, it makes a lot of sense that mindful eating or intuitive eating can come naturally when your leptin and ghrelin, your hunger and your satiety hormones are balanced. Then you're able to, put that ice cream back after a scoop or stop eating that takeout food after a serving. So yes, it's mindful, it's intuitive, but again, I think in terms of hormones a lot. So for me, that makes a lot of sense. As well as hormones like insulin and estrogen, these hormones tell your body to store fat right? I already mentioned earlier, when your liver's not healthy, it gets confused and it stores fat instead of metabolizing it, breaking it down into its building blocks and excreting it or using the building blocks for other things. So again, a healthy liver is going to balance estrogen, balance insulin, and tell your body, you don't need to store that fat. You can get rid of that fat. It's okay. And then, of course, cortisol. Your primary stress hormone is also directly affected by liver health. And it becomes a vicious cycle, right? High cort impacts liver health negatively. So if you're feeling like I kind of want to do this, how do I get started? I put together a little list for you on how to prepare to do a cleanse. Start by setting a goal. What's your motivation to do a cleanse? Do you want nicer skin? Do you want to lose a few pounds? Do you just want to have that brain fog that now you might be thinking like, am I living in brain fog? You want to see if that could lift? Set your goal, set your intention for why you want to actually do a cleanse and what you're hoping to achieve. Write it down. Mentally prepare. Anticipate what to expect when you're cleansing. I encourage you to think through the cleansing crisis so it doesn't scare you. When you have a few days, up to 7 days of those low-grade cleansing symptoms, don't be scared. Know that they might be coming. Choose the right time for your cleanse. Please don't do a cleanse on your vacay. Don't do a cleanse during, well, we're done the holidays, during your holiday festivities or other cultural celebrations. Find a right time when you feel you can dedicate 12 days to either the herbal or the gentle, or 15 days to the liver kit. Make a grocery list. This is going to be important. Make a grocery list and start to move through items in your cupboards and fridge so you don't food waste, but that are not part of the meal plan. And clear out the cupboards and fridge and start reloading them with those foods off the grocery list that comes in your meal kit, in your kit insert. From this list, create a meal plan. And there's lots of online tools that can help you, or you can look on wildrose.ca. They've got really nice recipes that coincide directly with the cleansing diet that is in your kit. And connect with others. I think that you need some support as you're going through this, so connect with others who've done it or are doing this cleanse. How do you stay self-motivated on the cleanse? Remember your goal. Keep it focused in the front of your mind. Drink lots of water, up to 3 liters a day. Eat enough. Please don't restrict. Please don't deprive. People think, oh, I'll lose more weight if I totally deprive myself. No, I promise you, you'll lose it and you'll gain it back double. Eat enough. Nourish the detoxification and elimination portals. Allow the ingredients, the herbs and the plants in the kit to do their job as best as they can. They need you to eat. Connect with a cleansing buddy or join the Facebook support group. I'll put a slide up for that later. You can join Wild Rose's Facebook group. We're all on there doing it and sharing our experiences as we do the cleanse. Reward yourself for sticking to the cleanse. Take that cheat meal. Take it. You deserve it. Doing the cheat meal on your cleanse that Dr. Terry says you can have will not impede or slow down the cleansing effects, I promise. And practice mindfulness to get you through the cleanse as well. Now, the dietary part can be tricky, so plan your recipes ahead of time. And if you're into batch cooking, I really recommend repeating meals and repeating snacks. Like something I tell clients to do is go on wildrose.ca, choose a savory snack that really resonates with you and a sweet snack, and repeat those over the 12 days or the 15 days. Having simple leftovers is going to make this so much easier. Adding protein from dinner to your containers, pre-fill it with the whole grains you're allowed to have, fruits and vegetables as part of the cleansing diet, and put together, like I have this little photo here of a simple, this is all based on leftovers, and then a fresh pear and a fresh cucumber and fresh berries. Easy leftover meals that adhere to the principles in the detox type diet. And there's a way to come off the cleanse correctly as well, slowly. Check in with how your body's feeling and reacting as you reintroduce foods that were on the no-no list. See what happens. You can bring these foods back if you love them and you're doing well on them. I wonder if some of the foods that you bring back, you're no longer going to feel you want. Maybe you don't want them at all. Maybe you no longer want them at every meal, like dairy. for example, or sugar. Sometimes this cleanse kind of really gives your brain, gives your taste buds, everything kind of like a reset, a much needed one, I think, for some of us. Keep your veggie intake, your alkalizing food intake, your fiber intake up, up, up. And my number one tip always comes back to being properly hydrated. Caring for your body after your cleanse. So use this as an opportunity to reevaluate your diet. Remember, you don't have to reintroduce all the foods that the cleanse took away. Try your best to not go back to all the old unhealthy habits. And again, like I said, you may no longer even crave a lot of the processed, refined, or high sugar or trans fat types foods that you may have been eating prior to doing the cleanse. It's a nice side effect of the cleanse, how often the taste buds change, or just even like some of the neurotransmitter systems may change, and you find that you no longer crave that stuff. You really have reset for a healthier pattern. So just to wrap up here before we move into Q&A, a couple key takeaways from my last 25 minutes of talking is, I think that there's a good reason that many people are starting to focus more and more on health span as well as, of course, lifespan. And key aspects of detox that I talked about that I personally love and so many of my clients love include that concept from the Japanese centenarians we've learned called hara hachibu, where we systematically undereat. We stop eating when we're about 80% full. I introduced you to my favorite cleanse kits by Wild Rose and my friend Dr. Terry Willard, and he's got the herbal detox, the gentle detox, where the laxative is gentler, and the liver support. Herbal and gentle are 12 days commitment. Liver support is 15. If you're going to do one, I would recommend starting with herbal or gentle. If you feel you need it a second time, you can do 2 kits back to back, then take a 3-week break. And then if you want the liver support, you can do that after the herbal or gentle. We talked about a few tips here at the end about staying motivated and how to prepare for a cleanse, how to come off it. And really just, I want to encourage you to take care of your body, not only during the cleanse, but always after it. I think this cleanse for many of us, including myself, can be a real nice reset to bring us back to even becoming mindful about our bodies and mindful about just our brain, our mental health, our physical health, and emotional and spiritual health. Here's the Facebook page if you want to take a screenshot or write that down. Wild Rose Herbal Detox Group. You can join us and stay in touch. And the Wild Rose team, including Dr. Terry, will pop on from time to time to answer your questions. And with that, I want to thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy night to spend the last hour with me. Thank you so much, and let's move into Q&A.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you, Orsha.